Welcome back to Talk Nerdy to Me, a financial guide for entrepreneurs, where we dive deep into the financial issues that small to mid-sized businesses and high-growth companies face. And then we explore practical solutions to overcome them. I'm Michelle Delker, founder and CEO of the Stanley CFO Group. In today's episode, we're tackling a challenge that many entrepreneurs face. What is it? Finding the right insurance partner for their business. And we know how important this is, given the implications related to risk exposure and financial resources. So what did we do? We brought in the best. We brought in the gold standard, and his face might look familiar. His voice may sound familiar, but if you don't know him, you definitely should. What is his name? It's Ed Ellsasser. He's here in the studio. Say hello.
Hello.
Oh, he's a little shy.
That's true.
Yes, founder and CEO of PrimeGroup Insurance. Founded it in 1999, is that right?
Correct.
Which is a huge feat because what is it now? Almost 2025?
Right.
Whew.
25 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Means I'm old.
No, it doesn't. It means you're experienced, which
there
is
we go.
invaluable.
Okay. All right.
Yes. And under your leadership, you've grown this, right? This business is in Tampa, Orlando, West Palm Beach.
Correct.
You've got more than 40 employees.
Right.
And you offer commercial insurance, employee benefits, and then personal insurance services.
You hit it on the head.
Yes. So that Chat GPT is amazing. I did not go to the library and use the Dewey Decimal System. And then your bachelor's is in economics from Indiana.
Correct.
And you were just there this weekend?
I was. It was a little chilly, but we did get the victory in our rivalry game over Purdue. So it was a fun weekend.
Oh my gosh. And you flew back this morning.
I did.
So This is dedication to the community people. He is here pulling back the curtain and telling us all of the secrets after taking a red eye.
There we go.
Gosh. Well, we have a beverage for you.
Oh, awesome.
It's only 10 a.m., so we probably won't open it. You're also active in the community, right?
Yep.
You were the chairman of the board for the CEO Council of Tampa Bay.
Correct.
Oh, that was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it was fun.
So how long ago was that?
It was a couple years ago. So it was a great experience, great group of people, and really have enjoyed my time with that group.
Yes, really an impressive bunch.
Yeah.
And then what else? What else have you done? Leadership Tampa Bay, and then you support West Tampa Elementary School.
Yeah.
Through the CEOs in Schools program.
Yeah, that's been a fun. We're in our 6th year now supporting West Tampa Elementary. It's a Title I school. All the kids are below poverty level, mainly Hispanic population, and over the years we've been able to bring a couple art projects into the school. We raised $15,000 for the library to get, they had a bunch of broken furniture, no technology, so we got adjustable height furniture in, and anyway, so now the school, this year became an A school, which was exciting because they were teetering on failing grade when we got involved, and it's been a great way to get my younger staff involved to volunteer over there. We're getting ready to Christmas here. We do stockings for every kid in the school. Some of our clients and friends donate toothbrushes and toothpaste and socks, and then we get some toys and candy for the kids and bring in a Santa Claus and have like a field day outside. It's a fun day and fun way to give back and feel like we're really starting to make a difference over there. The teachers and principal are amazing, and the kids are great. So it's been fun.
That is absolutely fantastic. And didn't you re-landscape it as well?
We did, yeah. We've done a lot of projects over there. My son has a landscaping business, Austin, Ace Lawn and Home, if you're in South Tampa. Yeah. Got to put in the plug for my son.
Yes, and you have two sons that are also entrepreneurial.
That's right. Yep, my other son has a pool cleaning business. But yeah, Austin's come out with his equipment, and we brought in a couple yards of shells and redid an area outside the cafeteria and painted up some picnic tables so the kids can eat outside in certain times of the year. And we redid an area outside of the resource center, the library. And just slowly over the years, we've really transformed the campus over there. So
it's amazing.
It's been fun. You'll have to come and check it out.
I will. I'm so excited. So I've been in Tampa since 95. I graduated from Lato High School.
Oh, you're a Falcon. I didn't know that.
Yes. Okay. Graduated in 97. I got my master's degree from UT. My husband and I have chosen to raise our children here. I love this town. So, yes, I would absolutely love to. I would love to come and see all of that work. It's incredible. And I think it just goes to show there's so much more than just being a professional, right? This is the essence of you, sort of this full body, giving back, embracing the community. And I think that's such a fantastic thing to do. But I have to ask, so I've just told everybody all of these things about you, but what we didn't talk about was, how did you find your way into the insurance industry?
Well, I had another business, a payroll company that we sold, 6 or 7 years ago, rolled it up to private equity. And
it was a good exit.
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, so we started the agency inside the payroll company back in the late 90s. Paychex and ADP were getting into the insurance world, and so we started offering workers' compensation and group health insurance back through the payroll client base. And then over the years, we moved into, all lines of commercial insurance. And then about 10 years ago, we started acquiring some agencies that got us into the Orlando market and got us into personal lines as well. So anyway, so that's kind of how it evolved over the years.
It's interesting. So it started as one thing, and then you diversified, right? You created additional segmentation.
Right.
What pushed you to do that? You saw the need?
One thing that pushed us initially back in the early 2000s, the legislature started getting attorneys out of the game a little bit in workers' comp, and at that time we had the highest rates in the country, and now we have amongst the lowest. But when premiums started going down, our commissions revenue started going down, so that helped to give us a push to start getting into other lines of insurance as well. So, and then over the years we were referring out a lot of personal lines, and so we didn't really have the expertise in-house to build that, so we acquired some personal lines agencies so that we could give our clients a full service offering and help a lot of C-suite business owners out with their risk management.
So. I love that, because a lot of smaller companies, sometimes they'll leverage a PEO. What is it? A professional employer organization.
Yeah.
So they can be in that larger pool and try to mitigate expense. But at a certain point, that doesn't make sense. You outgrow that.
Definitely, yeah. And we had a PEO as well. And so I'm very familiar with that business. And it used to make sense 20 years ago because you could save some money on workers' comp, and that's gone away because rates have really they've dropped the last 9 years. I think we're going to be flat this year, but rates have significantly decreased. You used to be able to save some money on state unemployment. That's gone away. So now, is it really worth it to pay 2, 3, 4, 5% admin fee to get your payroll processed? Maybe pick up a benefits plan. There are some HR support items, but a lot of typical businesses don't take advantage of a lot of those.
Yes.
So.
I've seen it.
All right, good. Well,
I've seen it. So you started really with one line of business, and then you read the market. You looked at your customers, your book of business. You saw what the needs were, and as the market began to shift, you said, hey, this isn't going to last forever this way. We need to reevaluate what those offerings are. And when I said since 1999, right? Like, that's huge to have been around for this period of time, because has there been any sort of disruption in the market over those last 25, 26, or has it just been smooth?
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, smooth. Now, it's, constantly changing. As everybody knows, in Florida, it's been a really tough property market the last several years, with storms, and we're a very litigious state, and so that's been a challenge. Now auto's really, as we say, running hot. That line of business is a challenge. So we're constantly battling.
But I think it's so smart. So when you've got one specialty, you can have incredible depth of knowledge, but it's like this wide, right?
Yeah.
Whereas when you have a more robust product offering, you're able to look at someone's entire risk profile.
Right.
And so you can make adjustments to the appetite and the offerings based off of each unique individual's requirements.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to be like chasing, right?
That's
like
true.
We're chasing this, we're chasing that. And it's like, oh, well, maybe you need a break in some Gatorade, right?
Right. Yeah.
And
you hit it on the head. It's constantly changing. 6, 7, 8 years ago, we didn't talk much about cyber insurance. Now it's not a matter of if, when on, getting hacked or phishing or whatever is happening. We see, I won't say claims every week, but every month we have clients that are getting hacked and having issues. So we have to look out for the blind spots. So, and that's one that's been a growing challenge.
Yes, and those applications just in and of themselves are gnarly applications to complete, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I think I had my MSP complete it for me. I was like, I don't know, is this English? I don't know what it means, but it's such technical speak. And
they used to be one page, 7-8 years ago, and now it's you got to have a PhD to fill them out.
Yes, and I thought GLPL was fun, right? Or workers' comp, but no. And I think that's a great little highlight or call out there with changes just in the world in general, some of the additional things that are needed. So cyber, I want to say I'm seeing a lot more people elect crime, a lot of smaller businesses where they don't have those segregation of duties and necessarily the checks and balances that they might need.
Right, and you got to tie the crime in a lot with the cyber policies because of the wire fraud and things like that. So
yes, and they are crafty. I was working with an organization and someone spoofed the CEO and the CFO's email. I think changed one letter from like an L to an I or vice versa. And actually was able to get one of the folks to attempt to initiate a payment. And it was just under whatever the threshold was that would require the insurance to kick in. Yeah. So there are some crafty folks out there.
Yeah, I've got some good stories. We'll have to get into the bourbon to get into them.
Perfect. We'll sit by the fire in our Thanksgiving pants. Yes. So what I'm getting from you is it is full-bodied. It is a total A to Z comprehensive conversation when you're bringing someone on to really understand their business, what their risks are, and then to make the right recommendations to ensure that their risk is appropriately hedged.
Correct. Yeah, we gotta look at all their entire business and see where they may have some gaps in coverages and just make sure they're thoroughly protected.
And do you provide education as you're doing that? You don't just say, hey, here's this policy. It's going to be $7,000.
A lot more technologies come into play the last several years. We've got a lot of clients in the construction space. So we've got some automate safety type programs where it helps build that culture of safety. You can send text messages out to your staff where it's got quick couple paragraphs, 2 or 3 questions, just to keep safety top of mind, and those types of things can help move the needle. So
yes, Monsters Inc. Safety is our number one priority.
Oh, okay, all right, good deal. Yeah. Have to watch that again.
My older daughter, we had it on a loop in our house. Anytime I watch an old video, I can hear Sully and Mike in the background talking. So what would you say are some common misconceptions about insurance and maybe insurance brokers? I'm an accountant by trade, and I know there are a ton of stereotypes about my people, which is why this podcast is called Talk Nerdy to Me.
Yeah. That's, we've got some on the team that call themselves self-proclaimed insurance geeks. So, it's not flashy or sexy, but it's something that everybody needs. So that's what I like about the industry, is that, we do provide a product, a service that can help businesses grow, stay in business, not have a claim that puts them out of business. So it's, as I said earlier, we're a very litigious society, and if you don't have the proper protections, lawsuits will find a way to find you.
Yes, absolutely, without question. I've also met some folks who have chosen to be bare, or sometimes they'll call it self-insured, but maybe didn't put a reserve aside, and then years later we've seen some of the repercussions of that. Yeah. So go back and do an analysis, and it actually would have been more cost-effective to have procured the insurance, but hindsight is 20/20, right?
I get it. It's gotten so expensive, and some people do want to go that route, and that's obviously their prerogative, and And I'm not going to hold it against them if they want to choose to do that. So,
well, it's interesting, especially for the entrepreneurs, right? It's one thing when you're working for a Fortune 100 company and there's just an abundance of liquidity and certain things aren't as big of a consideration. Mm-hmm. But for so many, and we're a mecca for small business here, right? And we've got so many entrepreneurial folks. And really, there have been so many moments of volatility in the market over the last 20 years. Folks are always looking for a way to pinch that penny.
Right.
But we want to make sure that they're not dropping dollars to pick up pennies. And I think that's where having the right partner, providing that education, that support, for me anyway, when someone explains to me, well, here's why you need this. You were lucky, in the past that this wasn't an issue, but here's what's needed, here's why, and here's what it means for you. Then it's hard to say no. It's
right.
That makes total sense.
Yeah, I mean, you got to lay out the options, and then ultimately, they're going to have to decide how risk averse they are. So we have with rates going up, we have seen some clients take on some higher deductibles and things like that. But again, that's a choice that they'll need to make for themselves and what's best for them and their business.
Absolutely. And I think comprehensively balancing it all together, employee health, all of the things, right? You can't do that. So what do you think every business owner should know about insurance?
Well, that's a pretty broad question.
It's
I guess.
A little question.
Yeah.
Just a tiny little question.
I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs that are starting out, and, the first thing I talk about is, are you going to have employees or not initially? Because, workers' comp gives them protection. If one of their employees is injured while they're working, it covers 100% of their medical bills and then 2/3 of their salary while they're out. And you're required by law in Florida to have it if you have one employee in construction and 4 in non-construction risks. So it's something, that you want to get a work comp program going right away. When you're starting your business and general liability, if something, should happen, somebody's comes on your premises and trips and falls or whatever, or, you've got a landscaping business and you cut a wire or whatever, then you need those need protection for that, or you have something shoot out of your lawnmower and hit a car or something.
A child.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So workers' comp, general liability. Do you own some property? Do you have equipment that you need to insure in case it gets stolen? So those are kind of the initial lines of business that we talk about when when an entrepreneur is starting a new business. Those are kind of the must-haves initially. And then obviously, do you have a vehicle on the road? Do we need to get that insured? And you kind of spread out from there. So
it sounds like a full risk assessment.
Right.
So for my firm, before we start working with anyone, we do a financial diagnostic really to better understand the landscape of their financial state, opportunities, risks, all of those great things, and then some benchmarking. And it sounds like you've got a playbook, right? You've got a playbook with the standard blocking and tackling that you initially deploy as you're having those intake conversations, you're providing the education. And then as you learn more, you're adding additional things on. And you may also reevaluate other pieces that you've already pulled in a vacuum. That was the phrase that I was looking for.
Okay, you found it. Good job.
Yes, thank you so much. Because you've got to look at the full picture. So this is not like a 5-minute questionnaire. This is a more comprehensive discussion that you're sitting down and you're having with someone as you're bringing them on.
Right.
You're really taking the time to get to know them.
Yeah. We kind of, find out where they've been, where they're at, where they're going. It's kind of what we focus on, so that we can, not only see where they're at today, but, what's the next year look like? Are you opening any new locations? Are you adding any vehicles? Are you adding staff? Those types of things. So it helps avoid any surprises.
So this is an interesting thing to say, but it used to be that we spent a lot of time focusing on the relationships. A handshake was worth so much. And then we've gone through this period of time where we stopped shaking hands. We wanted to do things really behind a computer screen and have a little bit more anonymity. And you lose something when you do that. When you don't have that relationship, when you don't know the kids' names, or do you know some of that more personal information, you're not able to show up the same way. So I love that the approach that you take is really focusing on the relationship.
Yeah.
I think that's key. And I think people are starting to realize that's really important. And the pendulum is swinging back where folks are appreciating that face-to-face interaction. And I've had an opportunity to meet some of your folks, and I know they're in the office, right? They're in the office. They're out making calls. They're seeing people on a daily basis, building their relationships and understanding what's important to our business community.
Yep, for sure. You hit it on the head. Relationships are the key, and that's how we've been able to grow our business. That personalized service, where if they pick up the phone, they want to talk to somebody, that somebody's going to answer the phone, and if there's an issue, we call it closing the loop, run it through resolution. Things are going to happen, day to day, you're going to have issues come up, but if you stay in contact with the client and keep them informed of what's going on and take it through resolution, then we're going to keep our clients satisfied and keep growing, and they're going to tell other people about it. So the relationships are huge for us, and we like to connect our clients with other clients and help them grow their businesses too.
Yes. And before we got started, before we were being filmed, I mentioned I've met a couple of the folks that work with your firm, and some of them are just a couple of years out of college, like maybe 1 year out of college.
Right.
Others are a little bit further along in the life cycle. But what I love is that that's what they're learning with your organization. Right. They're learning those skills, and not everybody does. Yeah. So it's really quite a gift.
It's been fun for me. The younger crew, I call them the kids. I mentioned we did some acquisition 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago, and looking back, something that I feel like I could have tried to do or done a little differently was continuing to add to the young crew, but I was investing in these other agencies we were acquiring, and I stopped investing in the young folks, and I kind of looked around and I said, "Oh, everybody's kind of getting old like me around here. I better make a concerted effort to start hiring young, talented people." And 6 or 7 years ago, we did that, and now we're continuing to add to the team. And now it's been fun for me to see them grow, and for me, it's got me rejuvenated to mentor and coach and all that. And now the young crew's really kicked in to not only the new business side, but also in the back room. There, we've hired a lot younger account managers and things like that out of University of Tampa, University of South Florida. We've got such great colleges around here, and these young guns are they're grasping the technology, and they're ramping up quickly, and we're promoting from within and continuing to grow because of the young crew. And the last 3 or 4 years, because the young guns are kicking in with new business and things like that, our top line's really taken off, and bottom line's coming along with it. So it's been fun to see that.
I think it's amazing too, because there's such diversity in the way that people think differently. Mm-hmm. I will say, I look at my daughters, and every day there's something new. I'm like, where did you learn that? What app is that from? Yeah. So I think when you can marry that with some of the experience and you can each learn, it's a really dynamic relationship, and it's great, not just for the business. That's fantastic, but just for personal development and growth as well is really great. It's been,
it has been fun to see that interaction, because we've got 22 years old to 75. Yes. It's like, all right, how do you get all them, working together? But it's been fun to see, and it's really been collaborative, and good things are happening.
I love it. There's a meme or like a GIF that's floating around, and it's a 22-year-old going to his best friend Linda's 65th birthday because they work next to each other all day, every day. Yeah. And I thought that was just so adorable. But that cross-pollination is really important. And I think it's something that we've missed out on over the last few years as we've made some changes. Yeah. So to hear that that's still alive and well is really encouraging.
It's been fun too to, we do a lot of volunteering together. So to get the different age groups out volunteering together, or we'll go bowling or do some fun team activities. This year we did a couple of fantasy football leagues, and so it's fun to see like the 20-year-olds interacting with this, giving the 65-year-olds hard time about beating them in fantasy football this week, and so we had a blast. We ordered a bunch of pizzas, had a few cold ones, and did our draft in the conference room, and PrimeGroup threw in like $500 for each league, so there's a little money in there for everybody, and so it's been fun to see everybody have a good time around that.
I think that's fantastic and speaks to the culture that you really value and perpetuate within the organization. So when you show up as a partner, you're not just showing up with this insurance specialty, right? You're showing up with this lifetime of experience, these beliefs, and an overall approach that really serves you and the community well. Yeah. So to me, what you're saying is a great partner is the one that's going to take the time to really get to know you, your situation, and make sure that you're educated and aware of the options so you can make the best choice for your organization.
Right.
So this is the gold standard. What are some red flags that folks should look for?
Well, you hit it on the head for, finding a partner that really, cares about your business and wants to see you grow. I mean, I'll have clients that maybe need a banker, or they need an accountant, or they need, some other type of help. And you've got a true partner when they look for some advice in different areas. So, red flag wise, I'd say, if the agent's showing up day before the renewal and here's the numbers, you got a 25% increase. Sorry.
Does that happen?
I heard it does happen.
It does happen. I've also seen it. Yes.
Yeah. So we try to get out in front of it and start having those conversations earlier as far as what's going on in the marketplace, what we're looking at, things like that. Taking a look at if there have been claims, are there any patterns there, that we can get after? I've had clients that have had numerous rear end collisions, and those can be, all of a sudden $100,000 claim, $200,000 claim, things like that. So, do we need to get some telematics? I've got a lot of clients now that are putting, cameras in front facing towards the drivers and facing out as well. And that's saved a lot of money from, some false accusations of, hey, you rear-ended me. No, you stopped, you slammed on the brakes in front of me. What are you talking about? So, also, the camera going back towards the driver and the guys and gals in the truck, maybe they won't be on the phones, or maybe they won't, be doing something else they shouldn't be doing. So a lot of clients are putting like jammers in now where they can't be on the cell phones, while they're driving and things like that because of the, distracted driving accidents, which are happening every day. So there's coaching and education around that, training, things like that. So I guess that was a long-winded answer, but there's a lot of different areas that, just need to dial into and make sure claims are getting closed timely. They're not just hanging out there. So, pinging the adjuster on the claim, hey, what's going on? Where is it at? Where do we stand? What do we need to do to get it closed out? Is there an attorney involved or not? Those types of things to be an advocate for our clients.
So proactive planning, if someone's showing up the day before with unexpected information, that would be a problem, because this is an ongoing conversation, right? We probably should be having quarterly reviews to talk about results, because if there is something that we need to improve, we likely don't want to wait until it's renewal time. Yeah. So that proactive planning and conversation. Also, you're analyzing the results and you're saying, hey, I'm seeing a lot of rear end accidents. Here are a couple of ways that we could potentially mitigate that risk. Right. Here's something that we need to institute. Yeah. So again, it goes back to being invested in the relationship and really focusing on the results and how to facilitate the best outcomes possible.
You hit it. You hit it on the head. I'm going to start taking you on all my calls with me.
Well, full disclosure, you are my risk partner.
Well,
you were referred to me by a real estate agent. You've got to talk to this gentleman. I was like, okay, but I didn't realize that it was you, right? But here you are. There you
Thank
are.
you.
Is there anything you think we missed?
Let's see. Good question. I would say just, right now the property market just going through these hurricane flooding events. 2 years ago, there was some litigation or some work done in Tallahassee that helped get some of the attorney involvement out of the property market. Unfortunately, there was like 100,000 claims filed right after that, but those have worked through the system mainly, and so we were starting to see some relief from on the property side. Rates, instead of going straight through the roof, flattened out. We were starting to see some decreases, more carriers coming into the market. I think Helene was mainly a flood event, so I don't think it's going to affect the property market much. And I think Milton could have been a lot worse, slowed down, and yes, there was a lot of damage, and I don't want to slight that because we've all had a lot of friends and family affected by that, including my son. But I feel like that we dodged a bullet, and we've got reinsurance a lot on the commercial side coming up 1/1. If those go well, hopefully we can continue to see an improving property market. So,
thank you for that. I mentioned I moved here in '95, and I had never seen anything like what we experienced earlier this year.
Yeah, that was not a fun time for any of us.
But so much to learn from it. And right. I think that's absolutely incredible. Right. Incredible, because now we have a path forward in what we can do in rebuilding and be better, faster, stronger.
Right, 100%. Let's do it.
Oh my gosh. Well, This has been absolutely fantastic. I really do appreciate you sharing your insights. The peek behind the curtain, the raw information, I think is so fantastic. It's clear that having the right partner is essential to navigating what is an incredibly complex landscape, and managing through the financial piece as well. Incredibly important, because people don't have unlimited resources and really need to make sure that they're making the best use of their money while not exposing themselves unnecessarily. So if this episode spoke to you, please make sure to subscribe to Talk Nerdy to Me so you never miss an update. You can also send us your questions, share your thoughts, or let us know what topics you'd like us to cover in future episodes by visiting thewilliamstanleycfogroup.com or connecting with us on social media. We are on the LinkedIn, Facebook, and also, what is that, Instagram?
The gram.
Aging out. So my daughters introduced me to something called CapCut. What is this? I can't add another app. But we do have more exciting topics to touch on our next go round, the super sexy stuff. You don't want to miss it. Until then, keep nerding out.
Thank you.